The flashing lights of ambulances, the hurried footsteps of medical staff, and the tense expressions on the faces of Jungkook's family painted a dire picture as they arrived at the National Hospital of Japan. The situation had escalated beyond expectations, raising countless questions in the minds of fans and concerned individuals alike. How did things deteriorate so quickly? Was the initial surgery in South Korea insufficient? And most importantly, could Jungkook's condition be reversed before it was too late? Upon arrival, Jungkook was immediately wheeled into the emergency department, where a specialized medical team was already on standby, prepared for the worst. His family, visibly distressed, clung to each other for support as they anxiously awaited updates from the doctors. Jin BTS, who had insisted on accompanying Jungkook to Japan, stood by their side, his face a mixture of determination and worry. Hospital staff wasted no time in conducting a comprehensive assessment of Jungkook's condition. Initial reports from the South Korean medical team had indicated that the infection stemming from his food poisoning had worsened, spreading rapidly through his abdomen despite previous surgical interventions. Doctors in Japan were concerned that the complications were more severe than anticipated, and immediate action was necessary. Meanwhile, social media was ablaze with speculation and concern, with armies across the world expressing their fears and prayers for Jungkook's recovery. The hashtags #StayStrongJungkook and #PrayForJK trended worldwide, reflecting the sheer magnitude of love and support pouring in from every corner of the globe. Fans were desperate for updates, anxiously refreshing their feeds in hopes of hearing positive news. Inside the hospital, the medical team worked tirelessly, running tests and scans to determine the extent of the damage. The head surgeon, renowned specialist in gastrointestinal disorders, stated solemnly, "His condition is critical. The infection is spread, and we must act swiftly to contain it before it causes irreversible damage." These words sent shivers down the spines of everyone present, heightening the gravity of the situation. Jin BTS, who had been a pillar of strength for Jungkook's family, took a moment to step outside and address the media that had gathered outside the hospital. "We trust the doctors here to provide the best care possible. Please continue to send your love and support to Jungkook. He needs all of us right now," he said, his voice tinged with emotion. As the hours passed, the hospital released an official statement confirming that Jungkook was undergoing another emergency procedure to address the complications. This news left fans in tears, and many gathered outside the hospital in a silent vigil, holding candles and signs bearing messages of encouragement. Jungkook's parents, who had remained composed throughout the ordeal, finally broke down as the gravity of the situation hit them. His mother sobbed quietly in a corner of the waiting room, clutching a photo of her son, while his father stood silently by the window, lost in thought. The emotional toll of watching their son fight for his life was almost unbearable. As the surgery continued, questions lingered. What had gone wrong with the initial treatment in South Korea? Was there negligence involved? These questions haunted everyone, including Jungkook's agency, HYB, which vowed to investigate the matter thoroughly. Jimin, who had remained in Korea due to military commitments, sent a heartfelt video message to Jungkook, reassuring him that he was loved and that they would all be waiting for his return. "You're strong, Kookie. Hang in there," Jimin said, his eyes welling up with tears. The medical team in Japan faced a daunting challenge, but they remained hopeful that their expertise and advanced medical technology would aid in Jungkook's recovery. Specialists were brought in from across the country, each bringing their own knowledge and experience to the table. Jin, who had been advocating tirelessly for Jungkook's health, vowed to take legal action against those responsible for the initial food poisoning incident. "This should never have happened. We will ensure that justice is served," he declared. Despite the uncertainty and fear, one thing remained constant: the unwavering support and love from armies worldwide. Messages of hope, love, and encouragement flooded social media, and even celebrities from around the world expressed their solidarity with Jungkook and his family. As the surgery neared its conclusion, the tension in the waiting room was palpable. Doctors emerged with solemn expressions, ready to deliver the news that everyone had been anxiously waiting for. Would Jungkook finally be on the path to recovery, Or would this be another devastating blow? Only time would tell, but one thing was certain: Jungkook was not alone in this battle. Millions stood by his side, praying for his swift and complete recovery. As Jungkook and his family arrived at Japan's National Hospital, the atmosphere was thick with tension. The ambulance sirens wailed through the busy streets of Tokyo as they rushed him to the emergency room, where a team of highly specialized doctors was already waiting. Despite the efforts made during his previous surgery in South Korea, Jungkook's condition had taken a turn for the worse. His abdomen, showing signs of severe infection, had doctors deeply concerned. Upon arrival, the medical team wasted no time in conducting a thorough examination. Jin BTS, who had been by Jungkook's side since the beginning, stood outside the emergency room, anxiously waiting for any updates. "We did everything we could back home, but it seems like his condition needs more advanced care," Jin muttered, his face etched with worry. The doctors in Japan, known for their expertise in gastrointestinal surgeries, immediately ordered a series of tests, including CT scans and blood work, to determine the extent of the infection. As the minutes stretched into hours, Jungkook's parents sat in silence, their hands tightly clasped together in prayer. Jungkook's father, who had remained composed throughout the ordeal, finally broke down when he saw his son being wheeled into the intensive care unit. The question on everyone's mind was clear: would this hospital be able to provide the treatment Jungkook so desperately needed? The Japanese specialists had a reputation for handling complex cases, but even they seemed taken aback by the severity of Jungkook's condition. "We're dealing with a very delicate situation here. The infection has spread further than anticipated," one of the doctors explained in a briefing. Back in South Korea, BTS fans' armies continued to flood social media with messages of hope and prayers, trending hashtags like #StayStrongJungkook and #JungkookFighting. The support from around the world served as a beacon of hope for Jungkook's family and friends. Meanwhile, Jin BTS took on the role of a spokesperson, updating fans and media on Jungkook's progress. "Right now, our focus is on Jungkook's recovery. We are trusting the medical professionals here and will do whatever it takes to see him healthy again," Jin told reporters, his voice filled with emotion. As the days passed, doctors closely monitored Jungkook's condition, trying various treatments to combat the infection. The medical team discussed the possibility of another surgery, one that would be more invasive but necessary to prevent further complications. Jungkook's resilience was evident even in his most vulnerable moments. Despite the pain, he managed to give his family a weak smile whenever they visited his bedside. "I'm fighting," he whispered to his mother, who held his hand tightly. With each passing moment, the stakes grew higher. Would the specialized treatment in Japan be the key to Jungkook's full recovery? The world watched with bated breath, hoping for a miracle.